Imagine scrolling through your feed and stopping dead in your tracks because your eye just saw something completely unexpected. A hand scribble font on a slick ad, or maybe a barcode block turned into art. A dreamy gradient that looks like future nostalgia. These are not just glitches, this is the future of graphic design in 2026. And design is not just evolving, it is rebelling. And that is why I want to take this video today to talk about all of the trends and the things that we need to look out for in 2026 as graphic designers. So let's get into it. Okay, before I dive into the 2026 graphic design trends, I think it's time for a little reality check. We are living in a very unique time as creatives. Everything is polished and AI is able to create really slick designs in seconds. But that's the thing, designs look really slick and polished, but generic at the end of the day. And designers and audiences are starting to already crave the genuine, imperfect, and human-like feel to designs. According to the folks over at Vistaprint, the big shift for 2026 is design with personality, sincerity, and a human touch. And over at Kittle, they say that there's a collision happening. Raw human-made visuals meeting AI-driven precision. So bottom line, if you want to stand out as a graphic designer in our current world, nice design is not going to cut it. Your designs have to have meaning behind it, impact behind it, that genuine feel to it, and it almost has to look unexpected. So let's break down the 7 graphic design trends I think we are going to see a lot of in 2026. Starting with number 1, elemental folk. Think folk art or hand-drawn motifs. I absolutely love this style and I cannot wait to see more of it. And I really feel that with AI being so prevalent, people are really going to crave and love seeing a design that looks hand-drawn. So according to Vistaprint, which did a whole article on all these design trends that we are going to see in 2026, they said that this elemental folk style, it will really mean hand-drawn florals, ornamental borders, and earthy jewel tones. So this really works so well in our current society because, like I said, people are gonna love seeing that really unique texture, those really unique hand-drawn elements. And I think this is such a great reminder for us designers that if that is your style, to really lean into it and start to share more about the whole process you take when designing, because working with a machine, at the end of the day, some clients are just not even going to enjoy that whole process. But if they get to work with you and they get a completely handcrafted, hand-drawn logo that has that folk style, they're really, really gonna love that. And I think that is a style that you should really lean into if that is something that you are already drawn to. I wanna mention that because I am going to be sharing a lot of different trends and styles out there and ones I think we're gonna see a lot of next year. But that doesn't mean you have to do every one of these styles. I think it's really important to figure out what feels the most natural to you, what really matches like your personal brand and your offerings to your clients, because if you're offering all of these styles, it can be really confusing as to why they should work with you versus another designer. So really set yourself apart with like what is your personal touch in design, and I hope that these trends kind of give you a little inspiration with that. So that is the first trend. I think we're gonna see a lot of this type of style, but the second trend is hyper-individualism. This is the design style that just shouts, hey, it is me, this is my work, or whatever it is you're offering. And I think it's a really, really cool style because it kind of is loud. And in this really saturated world that we're in of seeing all these different styles and designs and human-made designs and robot-made designs, I think this style is really gonna help designers stand out even more. So this means designers are leaning into surreal visuals, custom typography, layered 2D and 3D elements, and really interesting juxtapositions. This is really helpful to hear because when everything looks templated, those brands, and whether it's a personal brand or a business that allows for that quirkiness and almost kind of weirdness, it can actually set them apart out of all of these robot-made designs that look sleek and generic. So this will really help businesses and personal brands stand out amongst the rest. And I think it gives designs a beautiful depth to them, and it just makes you want to look to try to understand what it is you're looking at. And at the end of the day, that is a win, because if you caught someone's eye and it's visually interesting, that is an awesome design. So I really think we're gonna see a lot more of this style in 2026. If you're curious on how to start implementing this style, I would say to do things like using an unusual color palette, maybe colors that don't typically go together, but that work together, or just using different colors for different elements that you would actually expect to be a color that it's not. Things like that I think can really, really help you stand out. And I also feel like layering elements and creating that depth and that 3D effect to your designs can really give it that unique human-made design that the AI models just cannot do yet. Okay, design trend number 3 that I think we're gonna see in 2026 is tactile craft. Now this kind of blends a lot of ideas together, but this also has that same deep meaning of looking very handcrafted and handmade. So tactile craft, it is really meant to feel handcrafted, whether that's stitches, textures, maybe paper cutouts. I know I had a client recently where we made her website look like a scrapbook, and I just had a new client call the other day where she wants her website to look almost kind of like a scrapbook and like that paper doll kind of effect. And I've been noticing clients asking for that more. So I think we're gonna see that offered a lot more from designers. And I love this style. I think it's a really fun way to share like personality through design, whether that is those paper cutouts or maybe it's really unique textures. You'll be surprised at how a simple texture or a simple cutout of a paper on top of another paper can make a design look so much more interesting and look really thought out. I think that's one of the things that is lacking with AI right now is like they're able to design, but it doesn't look thought out like a human would actually think of, like layering unique things and making things not as generic but more unique. And I think tactile craft is a style that really leans into that we're gonna start to see more of. So this could also be anything from like high energy collages, fragmented photography, and like I mentioned, that bold layering effect. I think this would actually be a really fun style to even start seeing on like social media graphics, and if it's a style you're interested in learning more about, you could play around with like those layering effects or making your post almost look like a scrapbook. I think that would be such a cool direction and style to go down, and I can't wait to see more of this style, to be honest. Let's talk about trend number 4. This is what I like to call the candid camera roll. So think nostalgic and that grainy film texture, and whether that's flash photography that almost looks like a film photography, or whether that's just textures on top of images. I think we're gonna see a lot more of like that imperfect photography that still looks really artsy and unique and aesthetic. And even though I typically talk about like branding and website, the photography for your brand and business matters a lot. If your brand photography doesn't match your logos, it's going to be really hard to connect those dots. So I think if the brand is going to have that like tactile craft feel or that folk feel, the photography has to match that aesthetic. So I think we're going to see a lot of artistic styles of using that grainy effect. I personally love that effect. I love bringing my film camera traveling because I just think bringing in that texture in photos and taking that and even bringing it into design, it really creates a meaningful effect to the designs you're creating. And also if your clients are interested in a vintage aesthetic, or if they want that kind of imperfect, candid feel, this is going to be such a great style that you can not only bring up to them, but that you can really lean into. And I think that's why videos like this can really help, because sometimes we just don't know the terms to call different styles. So I hope that this kind of gives you an idea of like, oh, that's what that style is called. And you can kind of guide your clients with like, I think you're leaning towards that candid style, that grainy film style, or maybe that folk style that I talked about, and that etching effect. Having those terms can really help you grow as a designer as well. This style is really gonna matter though, because like I said, we're living in a world where we are seeing videos that aren't even actually real people, and people are gonna crave to see that real candid B-roll effects in photos and videos and content. So it's such an important style to keep in mind and to look out for, because I think we're gonna be seeing it not only in like business branding and stuff like that, but also probably in the shows we watch and the movies we watch. I think we're gonna see a lot more of this. So if you're like curious on how to use this style in the branding and web design world, it could be as simple as adding a texture on top of an image. If your client didn't get film photography taken or they don't have that, you can always manipulate their current photography by adding that texture and like adding those layers to make it look even more candid and even more real and unfiltered and just really unique to look at. Okay, let's talk about trend number 5. This is what I like to call micro-industrial. Micro-industrial is that utilitarian, that technical aesthetic, the barcodes, the tiny regulatory text, QR codes, the industrial layouts. I even think this can kind of work for those like retro brands that want to use that like digital effects. I think we're going to see a lot of this, especially because our world is growing even more into a digital world. Like we are surrounded by it. Everything that we do is online, on a computer, on a TV, whatever it is. So I think people really love this style because it blends our existing world with our design world. So I think it'll be interesting to see how people start to implement this. This design is also kind of cool because with all these styles I'm explaining, some of them their purpose is to be loud and to really capture your attention. Some of them is to just connect with people on a more personal level, whether that's those candid photos or that folk style, that family-owned style. But this almost takes a step back from wanting to like shout and get all that attention. It almost gets attention because it's not trying to get attention. So if you like that minimalistic style, but also that style that kind of just looks really put together and meaningful, this is a really, really great one to know about and to look at. Okay, let's talk about design trend number 6, and this is what I like to call neo-minimalism. Neo-minimalism is the minimalism refresh where less noise and more nuance equals that luxurious vibe and feeling. I personally, when I see neo-minimalism, I think it's a really great style that focuses on a lot of white space. Like it says in the title, minimalism, it's definitely clean designs, but it's still really interesting and unique. It's not just plain typography on a white or black background. It's using that minimalistic white space and adding in some elements that are really, really unique. I think this is also a style that can be really great for those designers that love to manipulate typography. If you prefer to do that instead of doing all these illustrations and icons, neo-minimalism will allow you to lean into that unique typography, the unique kind of like layouts you're doing with fonts, whether that's overlapping them or putting them into unique shapes while keeping a lot of white space around it. Then this style definitely could be a great route to go down for you. But I think it's a style we're going to see a lot more of. I've already been seeing it this year, and I think it's going to be something we see even more in 2026. And the 7th design trend I want to talk about is one I personally love so much, and this is maximalism. I really feel like we've lived in a world of like beiges and clean lines and really minimalistic colors and making sure that things don't look too bright and in your face. But I think maximalism is something we are going to see a lot more of because people are craving that really intricate design that looks so handcrafted. I know I've been saying that word a lot, but it really is true that AI does not look that way. It just looks very clean, slick, generic. But if we want to stand out amongst all that, it's really important to add those little details, those little textures, and maximalism is the best way to describe this design style. Maximalism is about bold colors, clashing patterns, ornate typography, and design that just feels alive and like so fun to look at because there's all these little details that every time you look at it, there's a new detail that you're seeing. People are craving authenticity and joy again, and after years of minimal, emotionless tech design, maximalism brings back playfulness, nostalgia, and imperfection. So this is when you have to like really get your design skills involved because I think this involves a lot of like asymmetrical, off balance elements and stuff that still come together and look really nice. And I think maximalism really does a great job of looking very different and like unusual and unexpected, like I said today, but that still works well together. I think a great brand as an example of this is Diptyque. They have perfumes and candles that are amazing. Their style is definitely maximalism, and I really think that they stand out a lot now, especially with all the brands that are super clean and minimal and that probably want to go back to that really ornate and unique typography. Okay, so like I mentioned at the beginning of the video, just because I'm sharing all these trends doesn't mean that you need to pick one and go after it. But if you are maybe a little stuck on what your specific design style is, here's how I would choose which trend and style to work with and practice with. First, figure out how to align these with your own personal brand identity. If it's a yes, then definitely explore it. If it's a no, just keep moving on. There's definitely a design style that will feel more natural to you. And I also think that the second part of this is understanding that you can actually blend these trends together. It doesn't mean that you have to only do folk designs and only do maximalism. You can even blend those together and create a really unique style that only you offer as a designer and that sets you apart out of all these other creatives out there. The third thing I would do to figure out if one of these trends or styles really aligns with you is to experiment on a smaller scale. So instead of doing like a full rebrand, or instead of working in like only this style now, maybe practice with doing like a social media post. Or you guys can join my Patreon community because I do monthly design sprints every single month. At the start of the month, I announce whatever that design challenge is, and you can actually use that as a chance to practice one of these trends and styles to see if it's something you really like to work with. So definitely don't be afraid to practice with it on a smaller scale, and then if it's something you can really lean into and stay consistent with, then that is something you could totally offer to set you apart as a designer. I also think it's interesting to take a look at how your audience reacts to these different design styles, because that will really give you your answer on if this is a design style that you should lean into more, or maybe you should just explore it further. But if you post it on social media, or if you share it with my community and Patreon and you get tons of feedback on it, then that is a really good sign that this is a style that is so interesting and unique that it gets a lot of traction and attention, which will probably attract more clients as well. But at the end of the day, whatever trend or whatever design style that you decide to go down or choose or play with, it's really important to make sure that your designs really should feel meaningful. I think that is what's going to set us apart from AI and all of these machines that are pumping out designs all the time. I think it's really going to help to have those ornate, unique details on your designs that will help you not only stand out, but attract clients that are craving that handcrafted, human-made feel. Thank you guys so much for watching, but before you go, I want to hear from you. What is your favorite design trend that I talked about in this video? What is a design trend or style that you think you create or that you might expect to see next year? I would love to hear what you guys think. So definitely drop a comment below and let me know which trend you liked the best. But thank you guys so much for watching, and if you enjoyed this video, it would mean the world to me if you gave it a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel down below, and I will talk to you in my next video.